Welcome to the Geographic Spice War series, where we uncover the battles that shaped empires through the world's most coveted treasures, spices, and trade goods. Today, we begin the story of the Opium Wars, where tea, silk, and porcelain drew Britain and China into deadly conflict. In the early 1800s, Britain's love for tea was unshakable. Green, black, and spiced blends poured into London in endless ships. Alongside tea came silk, cinnamon, star anise, and porcelain, luxuries from the East that filled British homes. China demanded silver in return and had little interest in British goods, creating a one-sided trade. Britain's silver reserves drained, each shipment of tea and spices deepening the imbalance. The British East India Company turned to India's Bengal region and to the opium poppy for a solution. Opium was illegal in China, but British smugglers slipped it in through Canton, trading it for silver, then using that silver to buy tea, silk, and spices. Addiction spread rapidly, crippling labor and draining silver from China's economy. The Daoguang Emperor appointed Commissioner Lin Zexu to end the trade. Lin appealed to Queen Victoria, asking why Britain poisoned China while banning opium at home. When no reply came, Lin seized over 20,000 chests of opium in Canton. The opium was destroyed at Human, dissolved in lime, and washed into the sea. Britain called it an insult and demanded repayment, open ports, and coastal footholds. When China refused, Britain dispatched a fleet, steam-powered, heavily armed, and ready for war. The first cannon shots thundered across the Pearl River Delta, igniting the First Opium War. The waters of southern China now swarmed with British ships, each one a floating fortress aimed at reshaping the balance of trade. The Pearl River Delta boiled with smoke as Britain's fleet pressed inland, steam and steel against timber and powder. Ports were the prize. Control the harbors, and you control the flow of tea, silk, porcelain, and the spices bundled alongside them. Coastal forts answered bravely, but British guns outranged and outpaced Qing defenses. Marines landed to seize warehouses, customs houses, and river gates, the valves of China's trade. Inland, merchants felt the shock. Caravans stalled, silver thinned, and tea prices seesawed with every blockade. The Qing court shuffled officials. Commissioner Lin Zexu, unyielding and blamed, was dismissed. Resolve faltered. The fleet did not. Chusan fell, then Ningbo, stepping stones toward the Yangtze, the commercial spine feeding tea hills and silk looms. Smuggling didn't stop. Even as forts burned, opium slipped upriver, bartered for silver that returned as tea. Britain's war aim was simple: make China's doors open on British hinges. Diplomacy flickered between cannonades. Terms drafted, refused, redrafted, while ships inched closer to China's heart. The bowed forts guarding Canton were blasted aside, the river mouth pried open like a sealed chest. By 1842, British ensigns flew off Nanjing. The empire's great river now carried foreign guns with its grain and tea junks. Cornered by blockade and bombardment, Qing envoys returned to the table, this time to sign the Treaty of Nanjing. 5 ports opened, indemnities owed, tariffs set, and Hong Kong ceded to Britain. With new ports, British merchants flooded in. Opium flowed faster. Tea, silk, and spices followed in fatter convoys west. The guns quieted, but the current only ran stronger. Unequal treaties had cracked the gates. Soon, they would be kicked wide. Peace proved thin. In the treaty ports, foreign demands grew. More access, inland travel, embassies in Beijing, and trade without friction. Tea exports surged. Silk dazzled Europe. Porcelain adorned parlors. Yet silver bled back to pay for opium deeper than before. A spark in Canton, the Arrow Incident, 1856, lit the fuse. Britain called a front, France joined, citing its own grievances. The Second Opium War began, a harsher reprise with bigger guns and broader aims. Canton fell again. The Allies demanded treaties that would turn trade preferences into trade prerogatives. The Taku forts guarded the road to Beijing. Twice attacked, twice contested, until 1860, when they fell. Negotiations staggered, then snapped. Allied columns marched on the capital. The Summer Palace burned, an imperial treasure put to the torch to force China's hand. The treaties of Tianjin and Beijing sealed the outcome. More treaty ports, foreign legations in the capital, missionary access, and the opium trade recognized in law. Trade arteries widened. Junks and clippers moved in ceaseless counterflow. Opium upriver, tea, silk, porcelain, and spice cargo out to the world. In Europe, markets bloomed. Afternoon tea became ritual. Silk-fed fashion, star anise and cassia perfumed new recipes. In China, the cost was sovereignty. Tariffs fixed by foreigners, enclaves under foreign law, and commerce steered by external gunboats. Historians mark a beginning here, the long century of humiliation, when treaties wrote borders on ledgers before maps. Yet, the goods at the conflict's core, tea, spices, silk, porcelain, outlived the war, binding palates and households across continents. The Opium Wars proved that empires could be conquered not only by soldiers, but by tastes and by the trade that serves them. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching our Geographic Spice War series. Join us next time as we uncover another chapter in the world's battle for flavor and fortune.